Hello, the world of Bookface. Good morning. Bit of an early morning for me. How are you all doing? Roxy Ramblings, I have no idea what number this is. I don't know who I am or what day it is. I'm exhausted. And I had a few Prosecco's last night. Hey! I have been a bit quiet, haven't I? Been busy. Very, very, very busy. But I thought I'd check in and I guess update you all on what's going on now. So what's new? What's new? Nothing too much. We're waiting with bated breath to see if there are any further changes coming for the funeral professionals with regards to lifting restrictions or allowing more attendance. I've seen a lot of things on Facebook, but not from the government. I'm confused. I'm sure I join the rest of you in being confused by our lovely Prime Minister. Go to work, don't go to work. Go outside, don't go outside. I've really enjoyed the quiet roads over the last 8 weeks. Obviously going out to work every day. It's been beautiful. So that's stopped now. It's really busy and I kind of feel I've missed something. So I don't know if it's the last week or so. When I'm out and everyone else is out and it's just people everywhere. It's people-y again. So I don't know what's going on. But I'm sure there will be some changes coming to help facilitate families at the moment. I've been really concerned for the mental welfare of our bereft community, that's for sure. Of anything relating to COVID, the mental welfare of the bereaved is my top priority. Give me the virus rather than go through that core. My heart bleeds for them. Really does. Especially if you think that because of this damn virus, if someone you love is, you know, if they've got symptoms, or if they're in a COVID ward, or even if they're in hospital, you can't see them, and should they then die, you get a phone call, and then that's it. The next physical resemblance you've got of that person is 4 weeks later in a box. It's harrowing, absolutely harrowing. Having said that, obviously where we, the professionals, have acclimatised now to this dark period, if you want to call it that, there has been an increase in some stunning moments shared with families. Funeral service, that title doesn't seem to cover it anymore. I'm not doing funeral services. I've started calling my things a moment of love and farewell. It's not a service, it's just a moment, and I've been so privileged to be part of more and more gorgeous times. Obviously it's really difficult for them, but I think before, when I was saying, you know, they're being stripped of all the things that we are used to in order to process grief, there has been I guess acclimatization with everybody else, that once they get the head round this is the way we have to do this part of end of life now. And an increasing number of families coming back to me and saying, do you know what, I'm so glad that it was just us, the immediate family. What a privilege to be able to spend just that time, that precious time with them, where they can feel comfortable, authentic, they can move about, we can accommodate some little rituals should they want to do it. And because they're surrounded by their nearest and dearest, the whole public grieving thing, it doesn't exist. So they can feel free to be themselves and let their emotions go in however they want. And because I've built the rapport with most of them by this point, they feel happy to share that with me too. So it's been stunning. A lot of stunning moments, and moments I'll never forget. I'm hoping this kind of, again, you know, through the darkness, let's shine the light. I hope that people realise now of the freedom they have. You know, if we ever come out of this, I'm sure we will one day. We will build a new norm, unfortunately. But the old norm certainly didn't work, did it? But knowing that often less is more, and I get it, I do get it. There's something so comforting about having a whole host of people attending a final moment with someone who has died. I totally get it. But I think for the family, being able to have the private time with them to actually sit and acknowledge, especially at the moment, because it's the acknowledgement that's the problem. How many people do you know that have lost someone and have said it just feels so surreal? It's like nothing ever happened. She's at home. I just can't see her. So that process here is really, really difficult at the moment because you've not got any physical, tangible process to go along to actually log in here that, they have died. And especially if they're relating to COVID, you can't even see them, as a visitation when they're dead. It's just awful. But it's got a lot better. We've managed to help a lot of people. Obviously the demand for memorials when restrictions are lifted are going to be insane. I'm a bit concerned because I think most of them will go for weekends. And I certainly don't want to be working every weekend. I do weddings as well. So I've got a lot of those rebooked. So we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, the people working in this field are incredible. I'm just going to say that now. I don't want the thanks. I don't want the mention. None of us do. But we don't want to be forgotten. I know we clap for our NHS. They are amazing. And all the other people that have carried on through this really shitty time. But I've got to say, my colleagues, everyone from gravediggers, ministers, arrangers, bearers, drivers, funeral directors, you name it, they have been incredible. The pressure we're under, because we're at the end of the line. We get, no offence to anyone out there who I've helped, but we do get the anger and frustration. We're the end of the line. And we're human. And we're going through our own little processes as well, because as we said before, this whole thing is affecting everybody. It doesn't matter what you do, who you are, where you live, what your circumstances are. It's going to be massive on some level. So I think, big shout out, really, to everybody in the funeral industry. I can't speak. Funeral industry, cheers. For the amazing work that they have done and they continue to do. And it's a labour of love. And it is. If you're in this job, it's not a job actually, it's a vocation. But if you do this, it's part of you. It's not something you go to earn a buck. And anyone who does do that shouldn't, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. The only other thing I have to share is I had to make a very, very big decision yesterday. Very big. And it's been a lot of tears because I'm a big softie. And my pull for the call of duty is so strong at the moment. It's like everything else is out. I need to help these people. This is what I'm going to do. Da, 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 da. And I've been fortunate that my husband's been on furlough. I've relinquished every parental responsibility known to man. It's terrible. But he's been homeschooling. He's been looking after the children, helping me with the house. And I've just literally had my head down for 8 weeks and worked like a Trojan. And my husband has gone back to work. And due to personal circumstances and vulnerable member of my family, my children will not be attending school, even though I'm an essential worker. And I'm not quite happy with them attending school yet anyway. But that leaves me with no choice but to stop work. So I'm going to bow out politely for a little while to be a mum, to homeschool my children, and to rediscover who Roxy is, because it's been a hell of an experience and I need a break. I do need. We had a chat actually last night with my family. I said, when did I last have like a week or 2 weeks off? Never. I've been camping for a week and I'd still have my phone and I'd be doing my emails. It's the nature of the work, you know. So I've never really had more than 3 days off at a time in the last, however many years. So I'm going to have a break, guys, which makes me really, really sad. Because as I said, the pull for the Call of Duty is super, super strong. But at the same time, I think if I keep going the way I'm going, I'm not going to be any use to anybody at all. I'm knackered, absolutely exhausted. So I've had to, make that really, really hard decision. Sign on to the government thingy doodah. I'm going to be honouring all the work I have booked, which is another, I guess, 2 weeks, 2 and a bit weeks, which is officiating. I've got a couple more families that I'm yet to speak to and virtually meet and go through that process and help them bring together the funeral for them. But otherwise, everything else is pretty much done. So I'll be officiating all of those and then hanging up my jacket for a little while. There you go. I'll be back in summer when there's no school. And hopefully I have provision for my children. But it'll be nice to be just a mum for a little while. I don't think I've ever really done that. Ever. So, big changes. Big, big, big changes. I hope... I was going to say, I hope I'm not forgotten. It sounds really selfish in some ways, you know. You must remember me when I come back. But fortunately, all my lovely colleagues have reassured me that, you know, as soon as I'm available to help again, they will let me, which is lovely. So yeah, this is my last one. I hope that this period is coming to an end. We know realistically it's not. It's going to be a long old time before we resemble any kind of normalcy. And that's okay. We're all adjusting to new ways of life. And I think it's, of all the crap and pain and anguish that's come out of all of this, I will still stand by my original statement in the first video I did. There is a lot of beauty to be found. We are all being forced to reevaluate things, myself included. And so there's a big journey of rediscovery going on. Let's look at our priorities. Let's look at balance. Let's look at how we approach things and the longevity of the approaches we are currently taking. Does it work? Things like working from home, I think, will always be a thing now, if we know we can do it. That's lovely news for me, because I know, having worked from home for years, it's really hard to find, number one, the diligence and the commitment to focus and time management, and then balance if you've got family. You know, for me, the young kids, of course, I don't think I've ever done one video meeting without one of the children coming in. But that's okay. They are my children. It breaks the ice. So maybe we'll have this approach of, do you know what? In business, perfection is not a thing. We are organic beings. We make mistakes, not intentionally, but because we're human. And that needs to be allowed. Let's just stop all this accountability bollocks, excuse my French. You know, you're to blame, you need to pay, you need to compensate me. There needs to be more understanding in the world. And if we can reach that through all of this crap, then I'm all for it. So I wish you all well. I'm still working for the next 2 and a bit weeks, as I said, so you might see me out and about, pissing off my locals on Mersey Island because I have to use my Harley. And she's got screaming eagle pipes, my friend, so she's a loud, loud bike. And someone was moaning on Mersey Locals the other day. Oh, that's another thing. Stop moaning, people. Stop. Just observe. You don't have to engage in anything. Just observe. If you've got an opinion about something, that's fine. Keep it in there. Social media is not the place. It's a toxic place at the moment. Let's just spread the love, shall we? Be kind to others. More importantly, be kind to yourselves. Love hard, because love's all we got. Love, love, love. I'll see you on the other side. Much love.